All right, hello everyone. I am Tashina Anderson, and this channel is all about building your network marketing business. So let's get started. All right, so this video is all about, is network marketing a scam? And so just so you know, I have been in the industry of network marketing for, it's about to be 14 years, coming up in just a few days. I've been with one company the entire time. And let me just say this, let me just start off saying the video, you know, business has its ups and downs, its highs and its lows, and my company is no different from anyone else. However, today's video is to address the fact that most people want to know, and they've been asking me since I got started, is network marketing a scam? Or some people call it like a pyramid scheme. So I'm here today to help you with that. So let's talk about, I have a few things on my computer, and I'm just going to be going over some things that you know, just using the word scam. So if you just Google the word scam, one of the things that you're going to find, it says a dishonest scheme or fraud, right? So there are, you know, over 10,000 network marketing companies across the world. And so I know you know that if something was not legit to that degree, that it wouldn't go that far. It wouldn't be, you know, a whole industry around it. You wouldn't be able to have commercials on the Super Bowl. You wouldn't have it in all over the US as well as all over other countries as well. And I'm sure you have heard of someone in network marketing. You've heard of a company maybe years ago or even current that you've heard of. So let's get into what they sometimes call, they will call our business, which is a pyramid scheme. So if you Google it, it says a form of investment, a business model that recruits members via a promise of payments or services for enrolling others into the scheme rather than supplying investments or sales of product. So a pyramid scheme, just so you know, before you say it out your mouth again, because it really does just, it gets underneath my skin because it's such a negative word. But a pyramid scheme is when someone, and it has been done before, creates a business, they recruit people. So they say, oh, well, if you pay this and you go get 7 more people and they pay this, we're going to pay you this. So a pyramid scheme is when someone creates a business model, there is recruiting, but there's no exchange of product or service. That is illegal and it is a scam. It's not allowed. However, there's a difference between a pyramid scheme and a network marketer and a network marketing business. So before you call it that, or someone that started in a business, just be careful. You wouldn't want someone to call your business a scam or a scheme, would you? So just be careful before you say it again. Okay, so what is network marketing then? Well, if you take a look at Google, it says that it's a multi-level marketing, also called pyramid selling. Network marketing and referral marketing is a marketing strategy for the sale of products and services or services where the revenue of the multi-level marketing company is diverted. Okay, so let's break that down so you have an understanding. Now, we call it direct sales, we call it network marketing. I also like to call it online franchising. So I want you to think about it this way. If you wanted to invest in a franchise and you wanted to invest in a franchise like McDonald's, why would you give them $1 million just so that you can buy in to what? Their system, their products, and their brand? Let me say it again. You give them $1 million because you want to buy into their system, their product, and their brand. Their brand is known all over the world. Their products, you know people like them. Their system works really well. How do you know that? Because other McDonald's have been successful in the past. Well, when you look at network marketing, direct selling, it is a lot like franchising, but it's just online. So there's no actual location. But the reason you would pay a company to buy into their system, you know it worked before, their products, you know that somebody's been buying them before, people obviously like them, and their brand. So it's out there, people know about it, people have been able to make money from it. The reason you pay them is the same reason you pay for a franchise. You pay because someone's done all the work for you already. Now, our industry does get a bad name for itself. And I'm going to talk about what is it that people get so upset about. Why are you even clicking on this video that says scam? You know, what would actually make you think a company that sells a product and it helps people to start a business, why would you even think it's a scam? Well, let's find out. Let me tell you what I find that people get so upset about. I'm going to talk about 4 different things. So let's get into it. Okay, so just before we start into what people get turned off by, just remember this. Every business, there's something that people get turned off by. I'm sure your company that you work for, there's something. You probably day one, you were just so excited about what they were going to pay you, so excited about having employment, having a steady income. And now I'm sure there's something about it, whether the people there you work with or how they do things, whatever it is, there's something that you don't like. So remember, in anything, there's always good and there's always bad. But let's talk about what are some of the bad things or the things that people get turned off by when it comes to network marketing. Here's number 1, the low entry fee. Now, you might be saying to yourself, well, that seems like a good thing. If I can start a business and they've done all the work for me, they've done everything, and I can start it for a low entry, how would that be a bad thing? Well, let me tell you how it's a bad thing. It's a bad thing because when people don't pay a lot of money for something, what happens is they treat it like what they've paid for it. So low entry actually causes people to not care whether they make their money back. They don't care whether they're putting all their energy and effort into it. So the minute they get like a few no's, some rejection, a lot of times they can quit. So low entry is really the reason why we get so many people involved in the industry, but at the same time, it's a bad thing. Because think about it. If someone doesn't have the money to invest in, and I was that person, so don't get upset about this, but if someone maybe doesn't have the money to invest in a McDonald's, but they do have the money to invest in a network marketing business, you're also getting all types of people. And that type of person, there are types of people out there that they won't admit that they didn't do the work. They'll just, you know, somebody made them spend their money, they got started, they didn't do the work that they were supposed to do. Maybe they didn't sell a product. Maybe they didn't introduce someone to the business and they didn't make their money back. Well, that gives the industry a bad name. And because it's so easy for people to get into it, that means that it's even easier for it to create a negative, negative communication from someone who didn't have success. So that's number 1. All right, so here's number 2. Number 2 is when people in the distributors, is what we call ourselves, when distributors harass their friends and family members. Now, trust me, I've been that person. So I'm not even saying anything bad about the person who harasses someone. But you have to understand, the reason they're doing that is because they're excited. I know I was. Think about starting a business and you believe that this is a business that can really change your family, your family's family, your generations to come. And what do? You get excited. I mean, okay, you know, I need you to see this. I want you to take a look at what I'm doing. And does it feel like harassment? Maybe, but why don't you look at it as another way? Maybe the person was excited about changing their life. Maybe they were excited about doing something different for their children. I know that's how I felt. And I think it just kind of, the aggressiveness or the excitement comes off as harassment. You want someone to see what you saw. You want someone to buy something that you saw value in. And yes, it can come off in a negative way from others. But guess what? If you started a business, I don't care if you started your own clothing line or if you started your own t-shirt business, what are you going to do? You're going to want someone to support you. You're going to want someone to buy something that you created. And that's what happens in our industry. People feel like they're being harassed, but truthfully, they're just encountering someone who is extremely excited about what it is that they're involved in. Now, number 3 is when people, if the company, this is what people don't like, if the company doesn't deliver, okay. If the company doesn't deliver upon what they promise. So there have been companies, because companies are run by people, right? So there have been companies that are run by people that don't always do what they're supposed to do. Like, I remember a friend of mine, he left our company because this other company was promising to get in on the ground floor and, you know, promising all of this money. He gets involved, and then the company they're not able to even ship their product yet. So they were taking money from people, which is not right. They were taking money from people, and then they were promising that the product was being made and was going to be shipped soon. Well, what happened is he did get people involved. The company never delivered upon the product that they were supposed to be selling to people. And the company wound up going out of business before they really even gotten started. So things like that can turn people off and give the industry a negative, whatever you want to call it, you know, a negative name. It could just cause people to talk. And it doesn't mean that every company is bad. And it doesn't even mean that companies don't, you know, bounce back from things that happen that are negative. And I'll talk about that in a minute. Here's number 4. And this is a big one. The owners mismanage funds. So remember, I said this before, network marketing companies are run by people. And people don't always do the right things. You know, I experienced it myself. You know, we had hyper momentum, hyper growth, and then our owners did a few things that they weren't supposed to do. Well, what happened? You know, it caused people to lose faith. It caused people to talk negative about the industry, negative about the company. Well, just like any major corporation, if you've seen major companies, because it's a legitimate major business, well, what happened? It was sold. It was sold to someone else who purchased the company, and then they do the right things. So, you know, one of the things that I was very confident in is that you have to understand that's just life. You know, you could be working for a company, and next thing you know, they need to lay you off. Why? Because, you know, they mismanage funds. They don't have the money to pay you. That's the exact similar thing, that when funds are mismanaged, things happen. You don't lose faith in the job and say, okay, they laid me off, I'm never going to get a job again. You know, what do some people do? They go get another job. Some people, what do? They when the government had that time, the furlough time, and people weren't getting paid, did people just say, oh, okay, well, they're not paying us, what am I going to do? I'm just going to leave the government and go get another job. No, what did they do? They stayed there, they waited, and then what happened? They start paying them again. Okay, so things like that happen. I don't care if you have a government job or you have a corporate America job, or even if you're in network marketing, things happen. Okay, you need to ask yourself, when you get involved with the company, is the company in good standings today? Do they have good ownership today? And to be honest with you, you can do all the research you want. I hear people say that all the time. Well, let me do the research. You can do the research all you want. I promise you, it means nothing, because you can find the hottest company out there that's doing incredible things, great ownership, and then 6 months later, something happens that you didn't even know was happening behind the scenes, and something's going on with that company. So you can't live your life in, you know, well, what if this happens? Or what if that happens? You really do just have to have faith and know that if you have a spiritual life, that you'll always be protected, you'll always be in good hands, and the only thing you can ever do is just always do your best, because there's no way for you to be able to predict what's going to happen. It is what it is. Now, let's go into the next part. So here's the last part. Is network marketing a scam? Let me tell you what people like about network marketing, because I'm going to give you, from my point of view, I've made millions of dollars. I've been able to enjoy some of the best parts of our industry, which I'm going to talk about in these next 7 things, which is what is it that people like about network marketing. Now, remember, I've been in the industry. In a few days, it'll be 14 years. I'm going to start off with number 1, which is you work on your own terms. Now, I went to school. I'm a graduate from the University of Maryland, College Park. I used to work as a teacher, and then I worked in corporate America before I got introduced to network marketing. Now, when I was working in corporate America, I had to, I had a schedule. I had to be at work at a certain time. I had to stop at a certain time. I was a little bit in control of my lunch, and when I ate, I just so happened to have a really good job where I wasn't like sitting at a cubicle or someone was like watching over me. I was able to, I did have to go in and stop at a certain time. I had to visit a certain amount of stores every single day. And, but it wasn't my own time. Now I get to wake up when I want to wake up. I get to, do business when I want to do business. I've been able to take breaks. My husband and I have 4 children. And my last 2 children I had while I was in network marketing. And I've taken sometimes a year off, and I was just able to relax and do conference calls from home and really just enjoy being a mom. Any moms out there? Then you know what I mean. Where do you get that? I didn't have to, take time off. I didn't have to go back after, having my baby. I was able to enjoy the beginning years of my children. And so working on your own terms is a big one. Number 2, you get unlimited income. So this is based on the effort that I put in, not the hours that I work, but my own effort. So it means that I have to go out and if I want to make $1 million a year, I could. Or if I want to make more, I even can. One of the things that I looked up is in our industry, one of the top companies out there is Amway, and they have, let me share with you guys this, the richest person in network marketing. Now, they have passed on, but it was recently. And when you talk about how much money can you make in network marketing, well, here's one of the richest people in network marketing, and they had an annual income of over $15.6 million a year. $15.6 million a year. Should I say it again? $15.6 million a year. Now, this is obviously the top person in the industry, but that's like NBA money. That's NFL money. Who makes $15.6 million a year? Now, you got your time, and then you have a good amount of income that you can make. Now, I can tell you, me personally, myself, everyone's different, and I'm not saying I've made a lot. I'm not saying I made a little bit, but I have definitely hit over $1 million a year in network marketing. It is what it is. And I've been able to do it on my own terms. So number 2 is unlimited income. We just talked about that, and that's a great example. Number 3, you working with friends and family members. Now, some people can't stand their friends and family members. When they share their network marketing business with them, they're the most negative. And if you're that friend or family member that's been negative to someone else in network marketing, shame on you. Because I've never met a network marketer that is there to just get over on someone. When someone joins a network marketing company, they're looking for a better way for themselves and for their family. So be nice to them, support them, support their business, because it's not like they're trying to, sell illegal items. They're not out there doing something that's against the law. They're just trying to provide a business for themselves and their family. So number 4, time freedom. Now, I talked a little bit about that, but I'm going to talk a little bit about this part of time freedom and why it's so important to me. Having children and having young children, I get to be here when they come home from school. I actually get to be there for them in the morning when I'm making their lunch and making them breakfast and I'm not rushing. You know, I get to tell them stories in the morning. I get to talk about things like who I want them to be when they grow up, things I want them to focus on for the day. And I'm not rushed. To me, and I know this sounds crazy, but that means more to me than money. Just being able to be there, to be an influence in my children's life. And it doesn't have to be someone else, or it doesn't have to be, you know, the school or the teachers. It's the parent that's there, and making sure that I'm shaping them to be the person that I would like them to be. So that's what that means to me. Number 5 is traveling. Now, traveling is a huge reason why I do this, but you don't just travel for vacations, because in network marketing, when you get to the top of the companies, there usually is some kind of like free vacation that you get when you get to the top. And that's great. I love that about our industry and our business, because when you're traveling with like-minded people, people who have the same goals that you have, it just makes the vacation more enjoyable. I know that. But you also travel because you should be building teams in other states. And so that's a big part of our industry. You should have business in other places, because why? Someone you know is going to know someone else who's going to know someone else. And it just evolves that way. So traveling is a big reason to do the business. This is number 6. Number 6 is there's major parts of the business that you don't have to deal with. So when you think of traditional businesses, if you had a product that you wanted to sell, you have to do the research. You have to create the website. You have to create the operating system. You have to hire the employees that's going to ship your product. You have to think about what the marketing is going to be. You have to test it. You have to buy all the product in bulk so that you can get a low enough price so that you can resell it for profit. These are all things that would be on you as the traditional business owner. Well, the good thing about network marketing, you don't have to worry about that. So it leaves a lot of the major parts of business. It leaves it out of your control, but also it's great because now you get to focus on other parts of business that's still as important, like the selling part, the who's going to distribute it, yourself, the team that you're building. You can focus on how to encourage people, how to get people to move faster, move forward. Those are all things that are part of the business as well. But now that you don't have to worry about all the other things, you can focus on some of the more important things that people like to focus on instead of the ins and outs. Someone else is doing that. They're investing, they're using their investing dollars. And that's why you have owners and investors of companies, because that's what it takes. Now, you might not know this, but one of the network marketing companies that's out there is won by someone that I do know that you know, and that's Warren Buffett. He is like one of the biggest investors that everyone knows about, right? You know him through his company, Berkshire Hathaway. But guess what? He has a network marketing company called Pampered Chef. Look it up. You don't know? Ask somebody. Pampered Chef is owned by Warren Buffett. It's one of his companies. It's a network marketing company. So do you think one of the biggest investors that we all know, do you think he would have something called a scam, a business that's a scam? No, he wouldn't. And Pampered Chef is widely known. Now, what's the best part of it? Again, the best part of it is that he's doing all the work. He's creating the product, the infrastructure, all of those things. And as a distributor for that company, all you have to do is sell the product to make a profit. And if you want to, you build a team that does the exact same thing. Now, here's number 7, which most people don't know, but I'm gonna put this last one on you for the end because this is important too. Number 7. Network marketing is actually, people say, oh, you know, you don't own the business is what I hear all the time. You don't own it. It's not yours. Well, you're wrong, okay? Network marketing, you do own your license fee. You own your distribution. You own the residuals that comes through that distribution. And how do you know you own it? Because it's sellable. You can sell it. You can sell it to someone else. So if you build a substantial business that's worth $1 million or more, can you sell it? Absolutely. And the question is, would you want to sell it? I don't know, would you? If your business was generating $500,000, $250,000 a year, and it was generating it residually, meaning you're making the money every month, would you want to sell that business? I don't know, maybe you would. I have had people in my organization, and they have sold their license fee to someone else. They built it up. They decided they wanted to do something else, and they sold that license fee. So is it sellable? Yes. That means just like a franchise. If you wanted to sell your McDonald's franchise, yes, you can. You can sell it to someone else. Does that person still have to give a portion of their proceeds back to the McDonald's corporation? Yes. In your network marketing business, do you still have to give a portion of your proceeds back to the corporation? The same corporation that invested their money to create the product, to buy it in bulk, to hire all the people, to be the ones to distribute the product for you. Do you have to give a portion of your proceeds back to them? I don't know. How would you feel if you did all of that and you created all of that and no one gave you a dime for it? You created the business, created the infrastructure, hired the employees, paid the employees, you bought the product in bulk, and then no one gave you a dime for it. Okay, so these are all the things that I like about network marketing, and they're the things that I hear other people say that they like about network marketing. Now, you can decide whether you believe that that's a scam or not, but I would just tell you to be very careful before you say that word again, because people are out here, they're starting businesses, they're doing it with the intention of selling a product, helping someone else to be able to make money for their family, to be home with their family, to have extra income, put their kids through college, create financial freedom for themselves and their family. And before you say anything negative, just think about that. Think about that before you use the S word. All right, my name's Tashina Anderson. Thank you for joining me on this video. Come back, subscribe to my channel, find out more about network marketing, and tell me down in the comments, have anyone ever said anything, crazy to you? And what did you have to say back? I know for me, in the past, I've had a few choice words for people who had something negative to say about my business. However, I want to hear what you have to say when someone calls your business a scam. All right. Thank you, good people. Talk to you guys later. Peace.